through them, but we'll continue to bring you those on this programme. But we now move on. And the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is in China. He's met with Shanghai Party Secretary Chen Jin-ning today, the city's top official, to discuss expanding business ties. This marks the first trip to China by a British Prime Minister in 8 years. And Starmer's visit comes as Western leaders seek to strengthen relations with China amid tensions with the United States. The UK is emphasising trade and economic opportunities while navigating a complex global landscape. Let's listen in to what the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer had to say on the issue.
I'm travelling with a large delegation of some of the top and best businesses in the United Kingdom, some of our best cultural organisations and institutions in art, in museums, in sport, and so much more travelling with us. And that signals just how important a moment we in the UK see this reset relationship with China.
Andrew KP Leung joins us once again. Andrew, what does Keir Starmer's decision to visit China after a British Prime Minister hasn't done so in 8 years signal about Britain's evolving strategy of relative diplomatic distance?
Well, of course, this has been sparked off by President Trump's unilateralism and belittling his long-standing allies, including the United Kingdom, which is almost a cast iron relationship with the United States for a long, long time. But now this relationship is largely broken. Not that the United Kingdom would try to antagonize the United States, but then because the trust has proven to be less trustful than before. And then, of course, even though the United States market remains to be the UK's largest market, but because of Trump's unilateral, tariffs and other restrictions, and as I said, belittling this long-standing relationship. So Starmer is trying to recalibrate the relationship across the world, not just China. For example, other countries are doing the same, including the European Union, which has just signed a historic free trade agreement with India, and also Canada. The Prime Minister's visiting China, and the whole parade of Western leaders, including France, Germany, and Finland, all visiting China, and making a beeline for Beijing. This suggests that the whole world, so-called rule-based order, has been seen to be replaced by the rules of the jungle. And of course, with the rules of the jungle, the relatively less powerful is going to seek other avenues to preserve their own sovereignty and to preserve their business opportunities and also the development opportunities.
Yes, and does this suggest that the start of a broader Western collaboration towards China? Of course, we've seen the likes of Canada, we've seen Ireland, France, we've got Chancellor Friedrich Merz visiting Beijing next month. Does this signal something larger?
Yes, I think that this is almost a paradigm shift. You can say that even a historic turning point, because since the Second World War, end of the Second World War, the whole world was or has been relatively maintained in a stable and mutually beneficial kind of environment in terms of international relations, with commonly accepted norms led by the United States, even though those norms are loaded in favor of American interests. But of course, the United States still care about those norms, and is seen to be the leader of a fair and just world. But now this trust is totally broken, and it's been jettisoned by President Trump himself. He believes that might is right, and he maximizes Americans' dominance in the military, by abducting a leader of the next door neighbor in South America, Venezuela, and by threatening to annex Greenland, belonging to Denmark. Which of course is a traditional ally with the West, and is part of very important part of NATO. So I think that all these suggest that the United States under Trump doesn't believe in the so-called rule-based order anymore, and it believes that Americans' dominance could serve Americans' best interests. And because of the total disruption of the world order, countries, especially the Western advanced countries, American allies, are now recalibrating a relationship with, of course, China is the world's largest, second largest economy, but also in other countries like India, and other continents as well. So this is only to be expected, but it is a game changer.
Andrew KP Leung, thank you very much for taking the time and joining us. It's always a pleasure to speak to you here on the broadcast. We now move on, and Mexico is facing growing pressure after US President Donald Trump